Afternoon, good evening. Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. We're here today with messages from our loved ones with Sue Broome. We're so pleased to have you all with us. Sue, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, and I'm so glad to be here too. I've been excited about this for a while.
Oh, and so are the chimes. So why don't you share with us while we're waiting for folks to come on and join us? Tell us about your chimes.
My magical chimes. It's so funny because they truly are magical. I was kind of paying attention. So I sat down at my computer probably 15 minutes before we were scheduled to be on. And I know we were real little late getting on, but so 15 minutes before, have all the windows open. And I'm listening. It's like, pretty quiet over there. As soon as I come on, they start. And I've been watching that even on Sundays when I'm doing readings. It's like they're quiet up until as soon as I start doing the recording, then they start going off. So these chimes, yes, they're solar chimes, but I call them the magical chimes because they will go off when something is said that you need to pay attention to, or giving people confirmation, whether somebody's looking for a message from their angels, their guides, their loved ones on the other side, pay attention to the chimes too. My chimes or other chimes, because they all are wanting to chime in.
I love that. I do love that. And I'm on here trying to find the chat place again on Restream.
You had to go in kind of you had to like go into settings and then go out of settings or something. And then all of a sudden it popped in. It was something weird like that last time.
Right. It was something weird like that last time. Chat app. Okay. Sorry, folks.
We're getting there.
You would think they wouldn't hide these things as well as they do, but they do. All right. So we are all ready. So welcome anybody who's watching here with us today. And we are, Andrea Gregg says, hello, ladies. Hello, Andrea. If you want to come on and ask for a message from a loved one, please come into the chat and put the name of who it is that you're hoping to hear from and their relationship to you. That would be really helpful. And then Sue will be looking for a special card from the guides, and we'll go from there. So Sue, let's take a moment. We were talking before we got started about folks that are preparing to pass and how to best support them. So I was talking to a woman, a sweet woman yesterday, whose husband has Parkinson's. And with Parkinson's, at least in this case, I don't know if it always does, comes dementia. So they've been married 59 years, and she's trying to support him in a loving way, as are her children, which is really tricky because he was a son of a gun, not a good husband, not a good dad. And they are being tasked with this opportunity, if you will, to treat him well and care for him well, even though his girlfriend keeps texting him. So it's a mixed bag. We've got a bunch of folks that are watching on with us here. Any thoughts for Jerry on how to stand in grace, take care of herself, take care of her kids, and sort of know the right thing to do? Any thoughts, Sue?
Well, no, it's interesting because there's a woman that follows me from time to time, and she's a caregiver to her husband, who it doesn't sound like he was always the nicest either. And I know that self-care is one of those things that really comes up a lot. And it truly is. Everyone is on their own path. So if this person was a son of a gun, for the most part, he's still on his journey. And so what I'm getting, it's going to sound kind of strange, but okay, so taking care of yourself is absolutely so important. And partially for the reason for that is because then you are in the flow, keeping your vibration high, taking care of, if you need to rest, if you need to go get a pedicure, if you need to go out with friends, all of those things. It keeps you in a higher vibration. It will also help them transition easier, because if they were a son of a gun, all their life or most of their life, think about now they're going into this place where they're afraid, most likely, and they're fighting like tooth and nail.
Right.
And they also may have, on a subconscious level, a lot of things that it's like, oh my gosh, I was horrible to this person, or I need to take care of this. So all of these things they're still wrestling with. So being as compassionate as you possibly can, and giving them the space to work through some of that stuff, but also, if you can be there to listen, or if there's somebody else that maybe is better suited to come in and listen, maybe there's a third party that has, no connection to their past, and they can just be more of an objective person. That also might be something.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. And get help. You don't have to do this all on your own.
Yes.
Get help. Yeah.
And there's so many places. I mean, there's volunteers that will come in. I mean, when I was a hospice volunteer, I went and the only thing I did was sit with people. I was not one that, I didn't sign up to do the cleaning or any of that. I just sat with the person who's transitioning, whether they were in an awake state or not. I sat with them, and it gave the family respite time to go do whatever they needed to take care of.
Right. Really important. Okay, we've got a lineup here. So let's go ahead and get started. So welcome, everybody. So glad you're here. So the first one, June Worthen Davila, and David Davila is her husband who's passed.
Let's see what we got. The thing too, when I pull a card, by tuning in to your loved one and to you, and then the interaction, and I want everybody to really know that the interaction that happens with Ruth and I, the discussion that happens, and the discussion that you in the chat bring up, it's all part of the message that comes through. It's so interesting. So bring all of that into the message. And it's funny because I've seen two different times. Right now it's 10:26, which to me I see as 1:26, which is my brother.
Oh, right.
And earlier I saw 10:21, which is, that's what really started it all with numbers for me, because that's my birthday. And that's my mom and dad's way of saying, happy birthday. We love you.
So sweet.
And June, I know that's her name, but my mom was born in June. So let's see what June has to say, or what David has to say to June. I love this card. Feel my presence. So this is a very similar card that the angels will say from time to time. So this applies to angels, our loved ones, spirit guides, even someone that is still here in the 3D, but maybe they're on the other side of the world or the other side of a city, doesn't matter. Feeling our presence, it's like we can bring ourselves into a state of mind where we can feel their presence. And they want us to be able to do that. You can specifically ask, David, please step closer until I can feel your presence. Or David, please step a little bit closer. David, please step a little bit closer. And in between each time you're saying that, take a deep breath and see what you notice different. Are the chimes going off? Are you noticing a brush on your shoulder? Are you noticing something on your cheek? Are you noticing the chills in your body? Are you noticing maybe the waft of cologne or the scent of something that is familiar? All of those things are feeling my presence. And you can go into that state by closing your eyes and taking a deep breath. And even going into a memory of when you were holding hands, or when you were taking an intimate walk in the park at night in the moonlight. All of those things, because he feels your presence. Open your heart and your mind to feel his.
No, that's beautiful. So June, what I was getting from David was a richness. The word that kept coming to me was architect. And I think what that was referring to, if you think about what an architect does, they add richness and layers of things and details. And I just kept goosebumps, and I just kept getting all these details. And what I heard was, he's preparing a place for you. He's preparing a place for you two to be together. Now, Ward Barkafer has written some amazing books about things that his wife, Suze, has shared with him about the afterlife. She passed, golly, I don't know how many years ago now, but she comes to him and she tells him what the afterlife is like. And they get to choose what their surrounding is like. They get to choose what their home is like. And he's preparing a place for the two of you to be together. So I hope that doesn't scare you. I hope that feels like a comfort to you. But just know that his love for you has not stopped. It continues on, and he's looking forward to more time with you. So, of course, you have free will. You don't have to be with him if you don't want. But if you do want,
he's feeling yours. And one of the words that you said was the details. And the details is so important, because when we are going into the memories, it is the details that bring our memories to life in our minds and in our hearts.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, June, thank you. Thank you for sharing David with us. So the next one, Louise, it says, make a pathway, Louise. I'd love to hear what that name has to do with, but she'd like to hear it from Margaret, her grandma. Margaret. It's Grandma Day, by the way, just saying. There's a couple grandmas that are wanting to come up here.
It's funny. Well, Margaret.
Margaret.
I'm getting a lot of flowers. I know my grandma Broome had a lot of flowers. She had a beautiful flower garden. She had a big garden anyway, but she had a lot of, it was a specific flower garden.
Yeah, I was actually getting a pathway through a flower garden.
Oh, so yeah, it's funny. And this card came out really quick. So I live forever in your heart. And it's so true, because and I think that's where the memories come in so big, because it's like there's families that you hear where they say, we never talk about that person anymore. And I actually don't remember talking about my mom when I was a kid after she passed. I don't remember that. It was me years later. It's like, I would call my brother. It's like, do you remember when, blah, 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 blah. And even my youngest brother called me the other day. Do you remember doing this? I said, yeah. And it was a memory. It was cool, because there's so many things about my mom that he doesn't remember. But this was all of a sudden something that popped in for him. So it truly is. Something was opening up. That's what I feel, is something is opening up within his heart, opening up those memories that he may have had locked away Wow, that did not occur to me. Thank you, angels. Yeah. So don't lock away things. Open your heart, because that's where your loved ones live. They are truly with you. They are still here, alive and well in your heart.
Yeah, thank you, Sue. And Louise, there's really something about the flowers with Margaret, because we both got the flowers. And then what I saw was like your grandmother's hand and you being smaller. So I think she holds you in a place of a young child. And she handed you a violet, the little purple violets. But it was one of those candied violets. I don't know if you're old enough, Louise, to remember candied violets. Do you remember those, Sue? Did you ever try them?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I remember being in the grocery store with my mom and wanting them. They came in a little tin, and she goes, "You're not going to like this." And I didn't. But that's what she handed you. So it was really sweet. Oh, she said, oh, she remembers. Louise remembers the candied violets. That's what she handed you. I think she adores you, Louise. She holds you in that place of you as a young child. She just adores you. Palmer violets. Ah, thank you, Dawn. Okay, I had no idea what they were. Yeah.
I don't remember those at all. And I know you and I are the same age, so it's like, I don't remember that. Or maybe a year different, but.
Yep. And then Louise also said that she and her mother have been talking a lot more lately about her mom. Yeah.
That is so interesting, because yes, that is, I mean, that's one of the things that I can't grab it easy enough. In my book, Signs from Your Loved Ones, that's what it is. Like, go into a memory, because that does bring up, it kind of opens the pathway. It opens the door for them to come in, because sometimes I think they don't, unless we ask them, unless we invite them. It's like they're still around us, but they don't show themselves as much. So that I love that.
Yes,
I agree.
Chimes like that
I
too.
agree. Stamp.
Great. There's something so special about that grandma energy too. When it's good grandma energy. There's the caveat. When it's good grandma energy, there's nothing like it. Okay. Why do I have all these caveats today? Isn't that funny? I never have caveats. I never had two already. Okay, so the next one, Andrea Gregg wants to hear from John Gregg, her father.
It's so interesting what does start coming up, and for everyone, notice what's coming up now, but also notice what comes up the rest of the day, just as whatever you're noticing. It is John for Andrea. I want you to be happy. Our lives do not stop, even though it does feel like it at times. Our lives do not stop when someone passes, when someone transitions. And they truly do want us to be happy. They're. So what I'm seeing is, it's almost like a cloud, and it's not a bubble. It is a cloud of love, that it's like, okay, this cloud of love, because sometimes we can't feel it. We think that if we're happy, that we're doing a disservice to them, or if we're getting on with our lives, that we're doing a disservice, and we grieve so much that we are in this state. And so I see this, it's like a cloud that comes over our whole aura, that is a cloud of love. And it feels like this cloud of love just kind of melts away, helps to melt away the grief so you can actually feel the love, feel the happiness, feel the joy. And I know I sound like a broken record, but going back to the happy memories, that is a pathway to get to feeling happy and remembering what it felt like to be happy. Because I think sometimes we forget. It's like, yeah, what was that? What was that like? Going back into the memories will help, as well as this cloud of love. I've never seen that before. So I want you to be happy. I love that.
So this is interesting. Your father showed me Father's Day cards. And I'm looking at these cards, and then one of them kind of came to life. I mean, you can imagine all the Father's Day cards, right? I mean, they're all kind of the same. But this one was a fishing one. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to go with this and see where this is taking us. And I saw the two of you fishing, but you were little. And then y'all were on a dock, and he's leaning down, helping you like tie a hook or get a fish off or something. But the sun is going down. So, you can just envision this picture of a father and a young child, and it's a teaching moment, and it's a loving moment. And what I was, my human brain was then thinking, is because was it because he loved teaching you and loved that time with you? Were you little because you got more time with him when you were little? And was it father's, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe there was distance or life was happening and he wasn't as there for you. Or is that just a fond memory? And then I was thinking, well, isn't that interesting that it was Father's Day cards? Because sometimes we send the Father's Day cards and there's not a whole lot else that happens in the year, but you give the card. Or was it that he really appreciated that being a father? I don't know. I would love to hear, Andrea, what's the message with the Father's Day cards? Because they can show me fishing without it coming in on a Father's Day card. I mean, there was some reason it's a Father's Day card. So I would love to hear, Andrea, what that was about.
What it feels like to me when you say that is that was, even though it was fishing, and Andrea may not have liked fishing, it was a time she got to spend with her dad that was really special to her. And this Father's Day card is kind of like the very meaningful to him. So I don't know if there was a card, that represented the joy and the happiness that you felt as a little girl spending time with your dad, and you found it in this perfect Father's Day card that really meant a lot to him, because it was a special time for him as well.
Right. That being a father
had nothing to do with the fish.
Not the fish. It was being the father. Yeah.
Trust me, when I was younger, I would go pheasant hunting and deer hunting with my dad so I could spend time with him.
Yeah. I don't see it. Oh, that's too funny. Okay, let's.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, let's see. So, Andrea, we'd love to hear if that touched you, if that resonated with you at all. Don Johnson. Don's got several things in here. So let me make sure that hello from the UK. Hello to the UK.
Hello, UK.
Okay. My daughter's, I think it's her daughter's baby passed, so her grandchild, and my mom's friend maybe passed within 2 weeks. Any messages would be grateful. And then Dawn said, my daughter's baby is okay in the spirit world. Yes, we know that. I'm glad you know that. And I think that was it from Dawn. So we'll ask for if there's any particular message, and then we've got the mom's friend passing and the daughter's baby passing. What happened, Sue?
It was like too many, like a bunch fell. Okay, now I'm having all right, who's flipping the card?
That's right.
Flipping the cards today.
Get your hands off my cards.
But you know, there's something with that baby. I feel like that baby has taught so much. That's not the right word, but and I'm getting chills, major chills. Okay, major chills. There's such an expression of love that baby is, that it's like, you know, a pebble in a still pond that spreads out. And it awakened, oh boy, babies opened so many hearts and so much compassion within the family.
That's not just an ordinary baby, by the way. No.
No. Maybe it was the baby that was messing with the cards. Okay, so there's a baby card. I'm going to keep shuffling in and pull the friend card too. The mom's friend. Mom's friend. Mam's friend. Baby. Yeah, this baby has a big energy.
Yeah, it does.
Really big energy. Our love is ever expanding. No wonder it took so long. Okay, so and this even the picture on the card is so perfect, because if you look at the sun and how the rays are expanding out, that's what this child, this baby, has done for the family. And I know it may seem hard to believe that it's like, well, the baby's on the other side. It's like there's so much expansion that happened and continues to happen. Wow. Oh, whew.
Wow.
Are you getting any more on that?
Yeah, I am. So what I'm seeing with the baby, and of course, Dawn, our hearts are with you, because when you're, looking forward to having a grandchild or another family member, it just, wrenches your heart. So our hearts are so with you, but the energy of this baby isn't, like Sue said, it isn't done. And I don't believe it's leaving your family. So you all have been touched by this energy. And what I was getting was the color yellow. And the color yellow in the work that I do is represented with Archangel Raphael, who's really lighthearted and full of life anyway. But I'm getting that this baby is a teacher, and the color yellow with Archangel Raphael helps to clear family ancestry, the energy of family ancestry that's no longer serving you. And it feels like there was just like this clearing that happened with this baby's energy. Now, not just for your daughter, but also for you, anybody who's in that family line. So don't know if it's going to clear the way for another baby to come through at some point, or even if this baby will come through at some point. But you all have been touched by this baby. John says, I've got the goosebumps and the shivers. Yeah. This baby has amazing energy.
Yeah, I totally agree when you said clearing the ancestral. There's some images that from just past healing work that I had been involved with, that come to mind, that truly it was generational, things that happened, to grandparents or whoever was from whatever other country you came from before coming to the United States. There was things that happened there because of just how life was, that has gotten cleared. So it's still continuing. It's still continuing to clear, because it's like, it's going to sound weird, but if you put cleaner down a clogged drain, it takes time to work at the inside of the pipes. And I feel like these rays of light are working at the inside of people's hearts, people's inside their pipes. It's like, because it does need to work a little bit, because sometimes it's like, yeah, you got to plant a seed and more happens and more happens and more happens, but the initial seed isn't going to cut it. So that's why I think it's
I'm clearing over
I
here.
know, nice confirmation, thank you. Okay. Thank you for that. So it continues. It continues. I love that.
And I might be really wrong here, Dawn, but I would not be surprised if there's relatives, ancestors from like Russia or the Ukraine. I mean, that was really interesting, because I wasn't even thinking about the Ukraine. What I saw was like a Caucasian woman, and I heard the word like babushka. Is that Russian? What is babushka? What does babushka even mean?
I think it means baby.
Baby.
Actually, I think it does.
Is it Russian?
I think Slavic or Russian.
Okay. So something like that. But that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look it up, and the chimes seem to like that. So thank you.
It's like, I would have to ask Siri, because when you don't know how to spell a word.
Yeah, I know.
Can't find any information until it's like, okay, how do you spell this?
Exactly. Well, and mine is not pulling up. So somebody look up babushka, tell us what it means. Because I clearly got that message.
Yeah.
Yeah, very sweet. And Dawn said, thanks very much. It means a lot. Oh.
So let's do the friend. Are we ready?
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I got to kind of shift a little bit before
I
reveal.
Mom's friend.
It's interesting though, because I do feel like even though the baby and the mom's friend didn't know each other, they really did. They really do. They really do know each other.
Yeah, it's like they waved in the night, right? It's like going in, coming out.
Yeah. Okay. Our connection is strengthened through your breath. I love that. And it's so funny. Funny, haha, not. But when we're in fear, we hold our breath. And it really does. You think about, if we're holding our breath, it's like, well, we're stopping our connection to the air. But it stops or slows down. I don't want to say stops, because it never stops. The connection is always there, but your breath will strengthen the connection. It's like breathing life into the connection. So it's like, yeah, she's on the other side, but I feel like there's definitely, she ain't going away either. It feels like there's just different things. I don't know what kind of, how long your mom knew her, but it does feel like there was such a strong connection to not only your mom, but to your family. And I think that things are going to come up. You know, you might be doing something in the kitchen and all of a sudden you have a memory of her. It's like, well, that's her connecting with her. And especially if you're cutting up or chopping something in the kitchen, you're kind of, you know, out of the chatter mind. And it does allow the connection to strengthen. So notice those things because it is her coming through for you and your mom.
So I immediately got old-timey smell, like old-timey. Almost like you're going through stuff in the attic or something and you can smell the people that were there. And then I got this old-timey magnifying glass, like looking for something, looking at something. And yeah, I was trying to get, was it that they had been together all that long, or are you searching? What the words that I had heard was like search for the meaning. So with the magnifying glass, but there's something about it being so ancient too. I don't know.
I can see the old time magnifying glass. And maybe, you know, maybe there's going to be some old papers or something that are going to show up. Because even when you say that, it kind of goes back to the baby and what do they call it? Like the old world, you know, when people lived in some other country, they call it the old world. Is that what they say? There's something but that's what it feels like. There is some, because it feels like that is something that's connected to this person as well. I don't.
Yeah. And Dawn says it was a male and they were together 14 years. But Dawn, I'm wondering almost like a past life. You know, that if they didn't know each other before, or if you want to say alternate life, if it's, you know, depending on what you think is past versus concurrent. It feels to me like there's a deeper long-term connection than a mere 14 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And as soon as she said, when you said it was a male, I saw a uniform. So, you know, because I can see the attic. I can see the, you know, looking through something almost like old letters or something.
And Dawn, I don't know if you tend to believe in, yeah, Dawn goes, they knew each other beforehand. Yeah. I don't know if you believe in past lives and the theory that we know the people that are pivotal in our points or in our lives from other times. And then we come back in different forms and, you know, provide different learning lessons for each other. I really get that this male, I don't know a name, also knows the energy of this baby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that they're strangers.
Nope.
I get the feeling that they're in your family pod.
Yep.
Whether it be bloodline or not, they're in the family pod. So when I said, you know, they're waving like I'm coming, I'm going, yeah. And she says, yes, she does believe in past lives.
Well, and didn't you say at the beginning that the baby and the friend passed like within 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Yes, I absolutely feel that they knew each other. Yeah. It's almost like, I do almost feel like this baby is going to come back at some point to the family, because it's, and I'm getting chills on that. It's something about the timing right now. And so maybe it had to do with, this time was to open, going back to the pipe, cleaning the pipes and doing that healing work. And I get a lot of chills. Oh, thank you very much. Because something with the timing. So this was like a setting up the compassion and opening the hearts and opening the doorway for what's coming next.
Right. Hey, Sue, are you good to keep going? Because we've got others and I know.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so we have Hope Wellington Marshall, who hangs around Enlightened World a lot. Hello, Hope. Hope would like to hear from Doris Thompson, her grandma.
Grandma. So this grandma, I'm feeling cooking.
Oh, Dawn wants the baby to visit her in her dreams. Dawn, you know the baby, FYI.
Yep, and all you do is invite them into your dreams. You'll know. You will know. Grandma, up there. Grandma. I think this grandma had, was not afraid to voice her opinion. Not sure what that means, but I just got that. I will ask the birds to sing for you. Okay. It's so funny because now they're silent now, but the parrots have been going crazy around here. So every once in a while, you hear a whole bunch of them out there just going crazy, and then they all fly away. But, and it's funny because my Grandma Lindy, had a parakeet that looks like these parrots. So notice when you are hearing, whether it's the birds singing or whether it's chimes going off or whether it's a song on the radio, notice those things. No, because there's different, even if somebody is speaking a specific word that it's like, oh, I haven't heard that word. My grandma used to say that, all of those things, because it definitely has to do with voice and ears is what I'm feeling. So pay attention to those things. Pay attention to not just right now, but over the next few days, especially. I feel like it's going to be increasing is what it feels like. You'll notice something. It's like, well, thank you, Grandma. And then you'll notice more. And even since I started talking for this specific person, I'm hearing birds coming from this direction as well. And I haven't been hearing them at all since I started. So whether it's birds or whether it's some other sound or singing or sound, I already said that. That's what it feels like.
And Hope, what I'm sensing is this really big energy. I don't know if Grandma was big in person, but a big energy. And like teaching, like she loved teaching. And I kept hearing the word child, like a term of endearment, child, instead of calling you by your name, she'd say, blah, 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 child, like, Okay. That's sweet. All right, let's keep down because I know that there's a couple more. Let's do Sachin Banzal, Sachin, and I'm saying this wrong. Sachin, but from the Father.
Right. Dad. This one came out really fast. I mean, really fast. Okay, so this is the same card that we had earlier. And I've always felt if the same card comes up, especially within the same hour,
Right.
it is like even more pay attention and feel my presence. It's like the energy of the card is now expanded. So this is truly, I feel like there's like you do notice things at times, and you not ignore them. Oh, that's just a coincidence. Oh, that can't be. I feel like there's kind of that, even though you really want to hear from him and hear messages and notice, and there's signs that are there that you're not giving credit to. And I think that that's part of feeling the presence. So even if there's some, it's like, oh, that's a coincidence. It's like, thank you, Father. Thank you, Dad, whatever you called him. Please send another sign. Thank you for that one. Please send another sign. Because I feel like, so what I'm seeing is almost like a magician. He's got a big old hat and a cane, and he's dancing in front of you, doing this, special dance, trying to get your attention. So even if there's these little things, it's like, I think that was something. Notice it. Thank you. Please send me another sign. So I think that that has to do with feeling the presence, because I think he's right there.
So Sasha, what I got was, first it looked like a clock, and then it turned into a pocket watch. And I'm looking at this watch going, okay, what is this? What is the connection to it? It seems like a connection to time, because I kept getting pulled into this time concept. I couldn't get out of it. They kept bringing me back into time. And so I'm not sure if it's that he didn't have enough time to slow down and be there for you, or is it that you are so caught up in time that or did you learn that from him, that that's how we are, that we're so busy, we don't have time to slow down and just feel? So I guess I would ask you, what is time for you? Is it something you're fighting against because there's not enough hours in the day? Or is it that you've got too much time on your hands? But there's a question about time here, my friend, that impacts you, and I think impacted him as well. Sue, anything on time?
Well, the slowing down to feel, because you're not going to feel. You're not going to feel if you're too busy to notice.
Sashan's got too much time. Too much time.
Yep. So, sit down, light a candle, do a meditation, go into a memory, look through some old photo books, and just allow yourself the time to sit with that. What is it bringing up? What is the feeling? And then what are you noticing? Yeah.
Well, and I would say, if you've got too much time on your hands, what could you be doing that would make a positive impact on somebody else? We're on this earth only so long, and there are things we can do. Even if you're bedbound, you're capable of typing, right? You connected in with us on Facebook. What can you do with that time that you've got left? Yeah. So yeah, that was the message for you. She said, I'm assuming Sasha is a female name. I could be really wrong. Any message he has for me, I think that is the message. It's, how are you using your time? What's your relationship with time? How can you use your time in another way that feeds you more and can make a positive impact on somebody else? So that's what I think. Sue, do you have anything you want to add on that one?
The only thing I got was a flash of reading to children.
Oh,
So I don't know if it's, grandkids or neighbor kids or,
yeah.
I don't know, at the library. I just saw that.
Okay. And last one, Sandra Brown, if she's still on, her brother-in-law passed yesterday. And you're welcome, Sasha. And we've got one other last one. We're just these two, and then the doors are closed, friends.
Brother-in-law. Sandra.
Brown.
Have you heard, Ruth, that people that just transition, that they attend the services?
Oh yeah, my mother-in-law was at hers. Absolutely, my mother-in-law was at hers. Yeah, I felt her so strongly, and I wasn't into energy at that. I mean, I obviously had it within me, but I didn't understand it all. I felt her so strongly. I blew a kiss to where I knew she was. That's how strongly I know that to be true.
Yeah, because it's like they come, how I see it is they come around to every single person that's there for whatever connection they had. Not every single person, but the family, the really meaningful, I guess. But they comfort. So all of these people are being comforted at the same time in different ways.
Yeah, what I saw with my mother-in-law was that she was there. She died of cancer, so it was a rough journey. She was there with a guide, and they were facing us, and the guide was explaining to her,
Mm-hmm.
"These are the people you impacted." And I'm getting goosebumps even saying that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it was so clear. But what was interesting, it wasn't like she wasn't sobbing because she wasn't with us. There wasn't that emotional draw for her. I mean, I cried looking at her because I missed her so terribly, but she wasn't being dragged through that emotional ringer that we were.
Yep. Yeah. Trust in yourself. I do. Wow. This is really a powerful one. It feels like, your brother-in-law was there for a big support for you. And I just have to tell you, the time here right now is 11:11. But trusting in yourself is something that I feel like he was there to cheer you on in different ways. That nobody else did. Nobody else does. So now it's like, yeah, they trust in you. Now you have to find it within yourself. But there's still going to be your big cheering section, or your cheering, cheerleader, and help you. But it feels like you got to start believing in yourself. It's really believing in who you are. Believing in the love that you are.
I'm really feeling the love.
Yeah.
I am really feeling the love. And what I had also seen, Sandra, was even if, I don't know if it was a quick passing, it felt like it was a lot of work. And sometimes even if it's a quick passing that was unexpected, there was still spiritual work that was happening up until that point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was a lot of energy going into this passing. And we know that when there's been a lot of energy expended, that they cocoon in spirit, they cocoon and they heal. And work through, clearing their own stuff as part of the transition process. But I am really feeling the love from your brother-in-law to those that he left behind here. That's really sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And last one, hello to Sophia. And last one, Denise Hamilton, any message for me today?
Starting to feel a tickle in my nose. Is that a message, Denise? That's funny. You know how sometimes you get a tickle, or what is it? Something about a kissed a fool, whatever that saying is.
I thought it meant somebody was thinking about you.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I've never heard the kissed a fool one.
I guess they're all coming in. It's like we have to pick the perfect card for Denise. There it is. There it is. See, Ruth starts coughing, card comes up. There it is. Okay, this is the third time. Third time is a charm. Feel my presence. So this, I love when this happens because it truly is everyone pay attention because there's so much more to the unseen world than the seen world. But I feel like there are people that are there trying to get your attention, and it's in so many different ways, but I feel like they're all around you, Denise. And sometimes I almost feel like, okay, yes, anybody come in. And then when it's like, okay, I just heard something. Well, who is that from? So if you want to get a message from somebody specific, you can actually go, person by person by person, and do it that way as well. But I do feel like all of your loved ones I see almost like a semicircle of people behind you supporting you.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I feel it only behind you. So I don't know if they're helping push you forward, pushing you on your way, pushing you along, helping to support you that way. I don't see them in front of you, but I see them behind you. But they're definitely, it's almost like they're a blanket, but they're there supporting you. So
that's exactly what I was seeing. But what I was also seeing is it isn't all people, Denise, that have been in body. You've got a bunch of spirit guides around you as well. And Sue, when you said, them pushing you, what I also saw was them like poking you and laughing with you.
oh, that's funny.
I think you've got some lighthearted guides. And I think that one in particular that I'm seeing tries to help you see the humor in life. It's a very strong presence behind you. I don't know, it's almost, maybe it's even a grandpa or something, or an uncle, but just like poking and isn't that funny? Just try to lighten up, girl. You've got somebody behind you who really is fun. I'd like to have that guide myself, actually. Denise says, oh, wow, that's beautiful and funny. Yeah, it is. Okay, and Sue, one last one. I'm sorry. And then we're totally cutting off, folks. Okay, Sophia Reggio. And Sophia, we're hanging on and doing this because I know you're an EWN fan. So we're gonna bring you something special today here. Thank you for hanging on with us, Sophia.
Who did she want to hear from, Sophia?
She just likes some guidance.
Oh, okay. Got it. Like, pay attention to the parrots. All right, so I do have to tell you, I'm gonna quick.
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell you what parrot is. This is out of animal speak. Because now they're gone, but so parrot is diplomacy. Develop and use power of speech for success. Be diplomatic in your activities. New understanding of others is coming. So. And they've been around, but not as much as right then. So.
Yeah, that's cool. That was cool.
Yeah, they're so funny. Well, there was one yesterday. He kept landing on this tree. I was sitting on the patio and he'd land on the tree too high for me to see. And of course, I'm on the phone. I said, can you hear him? Yes, he's talking. And as soon as I would stand up and try to see him, he'd fly away.
I love animals. So thank you for sharing yours with us today.
Yeah, they're pretty funny. They like the seeds on that. I think it's a sumac tree back there. What? Come on, baby.
Now, do you want me to share while you're waiting? So, Sophia, what I really got from the very beginning was a heaviness of energy, and it's coming in a deep red. Now, that's interesting because red to me is Archangel Metatron. But I saw it's almost like cloaked in the color red. And it feels very heavy. And I'm seeing Divine Mother next to you. And it's a message of, you don't have to stay in this heaviness. You don't have to own this heavy cloak and call it yours. You can let that go and ask in the divine guides to help you do that. You don't have to hold this.
I love that. Confirmation, and I just burped.
I didn't know that was a sign of confirmation for you.
There's different things, chills, burping, sneezing. They're all, when you cough, it's like confirmation. All right. Be in this present moment too. Okay. And that plays so perfectly with what you said, Ruth, because this cloak, it's when we are in this present moment, and there's a mantra that I love. And many times when I say it, my hand or hands automatically go here. But it's like taking a deep breath and just knowing that everything is all right. However you say it, whether I am love, I am calm, I am peace, I am grace. When you are in this moment, everything else washes away. Because when you're worried, when you're feeling guilty, when you're angry, you're someplace else. Coming back to this present moment. Because this present moment is a gift, but this is all there is. As Ruth said before, whether you believe in past lives or consecutive lives, it's like this present moment is all there is. So when you put your focus, that's what the blog was about today, focus and perspective. When you put your focus on this present moment and your breath, it's all there is. And it really does help all this other stuff wash away.
And Sophia, if I'm remembering right, I think Sophia is in Europe. And I think I had heard the word empathy, and I think there is such a heaviness of heart for folks that are feeling really empathic for what's happening in the Ukraine, right? And so almost if I let go of that heaviness. And if I let go of that empathy, that means I don't care. And I don't think that that has to be true. You can hold someone in such love and grace and hold them in prayer and hope them in hope and faith and possibility without having to wear that heavy cloak.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the heavy cloak helps anybody.
No.
Because it just drags you down. It keeps you from holding the light.
It actually drags them down too. So imagine this little honey calcite. Love is holding them up, and all this other is pushing them down. And when you can let go of that and focus on the love of holding them up, on the souls, the innocent souls, the love. And I also feel there's something that you said, Ruth, but there's something about taking on other people's energy. It's not your responsibility, Sophia. It's not your responsibility. Let other people be in charge of themselves. They came here to learn their lesson. You came here to learn yours. And one of yours truly is allowing other people the space and offering them love to support them on their journey while you're supporting yourself on your own journey.
Mic drop. I don't know that there's much to add to that. That was beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Friends, thank you for joining us for the hour-and-a-half-hour-long show of messages from our loved ones. Thank you, Sue, for staying on longer. And thanks, everybody, for your comments. What a beautiful time together.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I love spending this time with everyone and with Miss Ruth.
I always feel like we get a spiritual glimpse into everybody we're talking with. You know, it's just such a cool time to have that connection with you all. So thank you. And, you know, to the heavy hearts that are with us today, know that you are loved. We see all of the guides that are working with you, whether you can see them or not. We know that they're there. We know that your loved ones who have come and gone are holding you in love. You aren't alone in this thing we call life. And we just have to trust that, you know? I Sue, your family's around you all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
All the time. Yeah. So friends, so much love. If you enjoyed this show, we get together once a month to do this. And it's always the second Monday of the month.
Yes. So next time is April 11.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sue Broome.
So glad to be here.
Yeah. So much love to each and every one of you. Take good care. And thanks for letting us be part of your lives.